someone to call mine. Everybody's falling in love and I'm falling behind.
Hello everybody, it's Alice and no Iris today, sadly. I just wanted to talk about a few star stable ideas that I had. So that could be like positions, equipment, like tack, things like that. So for tack wise, I had a few. So obviously blankets and like fly gear, like fly masks or fly blankets. And more hackamores, especially English hackamores, because personally I prefer to ride in them, and I noticed that we don't have very many. They're not a very popular option to find in the shop. And just Liberty equipment in general, so that could be a neck rope or I don't know, like a bareback pad, things like that. I think that would be very fun. Especially, I know a lot of Western riders ride in bareback pads, which I thought was really cool. I ride in them, but I do ride English. And then just more equipment, like training flags, if that makes sense, or just for role plays. I think that would be a really good idea. And like, I know some people were requesting spurs and crops, which I think would be cool. Now, once again, going like back to the horses, I think being able to change how high your horse can jump. So if you going over a cross rail, I think it would be cool if you could put the horse's jump to low or maybe to medium and then high. So maybe like an oxer would be medium depending on how high it is. But if you're jumping like 4 foot, then you can change it to the higher jumping. But if you're just jumping like a ground pole, I think it gets really awkward when you are way over jumping, and it's even become like a meme everywhere where it's like the over jump. It's really funny in my opinion, but I think it would be kind of helpful just again like for role plays, because I think sometimes it gets a little off. And along with the jumping, I've noticed that every single other person's device, whenever I'm with Iris and we're trying to film a video and we're both jumping, one of our screens, like on my screen, she is so far behind the jump when she jumps, but on her screen it's the opposite for me, so I'm so far behind the jump before I jump, if that makes sense. So I think it's just very laggy on other players' screen, and considering it's Star Stable Online, I feel like that is a big issue, because I know it's just not just internet connection. I know a lot of people have had this problem, and I don't know if Star Stable ever plans to fix it, but hopefully they do. Now, along with the whole jump thing, it would be cool if you could set up a course and change the height of the jump. So I know that there is options to change the course and the height of the jump, but you can't just have the same whole course and change the height of the jump, if that makes sense. So that would be good for like if you ever want to do a Chase Me Charlie. I think that would be very fun. And then you could do the same jump, just raise it every time you jump, if that makes sense. I'm not the best at explaining this. Now again, with the horses, like fall off animations, bucking animations, but not just for the Mustang, like, you know, angry, like swishing their tail, ears pinned back. I think those would be cool. I've seen a lot of people doing like Mustang or Wild Spirit role plays, which I think is so cool, but I think that would be very useful to just have. Again, mostly for role plays, that would be so cool, you know, training a green horse and then they keep on bucking or rearing or something, maybe crow hopping or just kicking a little bit or biting, nipping. Also giving our horses nicknames, because I know that I do know that sometimes they'll call your horse in like a quest. So let's say I have a horse named Phantom Hero, they'll call him Phantom, but if I wanted to have him be called Hero instead, there's no way to do that. Or maybe I wanted him to have a completely different nickname. I know Iris has a horse named Puffin, but She typically goes by Potato, and I think that would be kind of fun to incorporate in the game, because if you have, like, if your name is Emerson and you want to go by Emmy, then same thing, like, and you can also have that for players' names, so you can just write like a nickname, if that makes much sense. So instead of having Phantom Hero, I could put Hero or Heroine. Oh my god, that's hard to say. Sorry, I keep on looking down. I have a little bug. Oh, along with the jump, a little past that, but that's okay. People cannot jump, which really bothers me. I remember when you couldn't jump unless you had Star Rider on a horse, and it reminds me now people can't jump, if that makes any sense. So if there was any way to have like people jump, because I get stuck a lot when I'm running because the weird animation for running is, I don't know, kind of funky. So I think that would be very cool, just to have, you know, the person be able to jump. And yeah, just I think that would be cool. And then also just like vaulting tricks, maybe trick riding, things like that. I think that would be cool. Like, I do have a glitch where sometimes when I get on my horse, it will cause it to stand. I'm pretty sure I have a photo of it somewhere, but it, you know, maybe that could be a cool vaulting trick, and maybe including some like vaulting tack. But, you know, I don't know, anything, honestly, I'll take. I think that would be fun for like role plays or something. If you don't know what vaulting is basically gymnastics on the back of a horse. So that could be standing on your horse, and there's typically no saddle, so there is a pad and you'll stand on that. You could do backflips and stuff. I've done vaulting since I was 6, maybe 7, and it is very fun if done properly. So I think that would be very cool to also incorporate in the game. And foals. We've heard everybody say it, but come on, Star Stable. Although I don't love the idea of breeding, as I feel like it would, honestly, I think it would, how do I explain this? I think that it would make things more difficult, as Star Stable has one set of breed. They don't have, like, if you buy a horse, there's not a chance that it's gonna already come with like an ability or a skill, if that makes sense. So I feel like having breeding would be a little weird, since it would just come out as like a purebred of something, which, you know. And also I think it would just overall like destruct the game, considering Star Stable is not really about that type of stuff, and they'd probably make it really expensive. And I'm really broke and I'm sick of spending money, so maybe we'll hold off on that for a little bit. And just ear bonnets, I think we've all heard of them, fly bonnets, whatever you'd like to call them. I think those would be so cute. Also being able to wear an ear bonnet while having like maybe a pendant, like a flower in your horse's ear, like a bow, if that makes sense. So having an ear bonnet and a bow at the same time. Now imagine, you know how a horse can have a backpack, right? Now imagine if a human could, or like have like a backpack or a purse, and then it would be like extra storage space, okay? Because I need extra storage space just for when I'm running around doing quests, because since I'm a Star Rider, a lot of the quests you get like free shirts or just things like that. So I think that it would be a good idea to have extra backpack space, so when I have to put it in my inventory, it will be longer, if that makes sense. So I won't have to find a place to put it down in my inventory for a long while. I don't know if that makes much sense, but that's okay. Now again, with having the backpacks, as we know, the backpacks are used to carry animals, or if you have any little like purple carrots or flowers, I know you can buy that. You can carry cats, dogs, birds, owls, foxes. I'm pretty sure that there was a pig at one point. I know that there's some animals that you used to be able to have that are no longer in the game, but that's okay. I think that it would be cool if we could have a pet out, instead of in our bag, you can just have it running next to you without having your backpack equipped. So I don't know how to say that, but so they would just be running alongside you, but you'd only have your saddle on, not the little backpack. Because what's the point of having a backpack if my little animal is not even gonna be in it? You know what I mean? I always have them running beside me because it just looks so cute. But that's okay. But I think that would be very cool to have. And along with that, just extended and collected gates. Now, if you don't know what that is, this is typically something for more advanced writers. I know that a lot of beginners won't typically learn this for a little bit when they're writing. So an extended gait is just basically when a horse has a longer foot point, so they stretch their feet out a little bit more. That's the best way I can like describe it without getting too much into detail. Mostly Western riders and like reining will do this, so that's like barrel racing, things like that. Now for English riders, we typically use a collected so a collected is their smaller footsteps and they're being more tight, so their feet aren't coming as far outwards. And a horse can naturally have a collected or extended gait. And collected is just typically used for jumping, dressage, things like that. And I know that some of the models, oh my god, my eye's like twitching. I know that some of the models, oh my gosh, my eye, ow, okay, just moving my eye. I know that some of the models, do have an extended and collected gait for dressage or things like that. But I think it would be so cool if all horses could have that, because all horses can do that. Same for bucking, rearing, biting. All horses can do this, and I think it's a little weird that only those specific horses can have that. You know, because what if I want my paint horse to buck? What am I gonna do? You can't buck, and it's really sad, okay? And alright, we're getting down to our last few. So, the 2-point or half seat. So that's just basically when you're standing in the saddle but you're tilted forward. I don't really know how to describe it, as it's only something I've done. I've never had to like describe it before, but if you don't know what it is, you might have to look it up because it's a little bit confusing. It's what you do over a jump. So when you jump, you kind of get out of that seat and you're not just sitting straight in it. So that's kind of what a 2-point is. So you 2-point over a jump. Typically you do it like over a pole, things like that. Now, the option to hide other players, I've seen a lot of people want, and I think that would be such a cool idea. And I'm pretty sure that they have something similar to that. I'm pretty sure they have that, but I'm not positive, because I've seen some people complaining that they don't, but I could have sworn I've seen it before. If you go into your settings bar, I remember seeing hide dismounted and mounted players, not your player, so be other people's and hide other horses, things like that. And that's basically the same as hiding all players. And then if you had someone in your group or things like that, like you're in your riding club, then you could have the option to not hide them, just like when you're in the arena. Now, lastly, I have been thinking about this for so long. I have not seen anybody else mention this. I'm so sorry if they have. But I even have a little bit of a sketch. I'll show you. So I think we all know about those cute little stars that we can earn, and we'll just find them, around the map, and it's kind of like a little Easter egg from the old game. I don't know if the old game. Pretty sure it was before it actually came Star Stable. So before it became Star Stable, they had these little stars that you could find, and basically, I'm pretty sure finding them will help your reputation, but you won't get anything out of it. So I think it would be really cool if once you find all those stars, for maybe all the stars ever, okay, maybe you have to find all the stars, or maybe you just find the ones in Moorland, or you find all the stars in Fort Pinta, then maybe you get a piece of tack. So obviously this would probably not be able to happen if you're not a star rider, as star riders do not have everything available. But imagine you have collected all of the stars throughout every single little area. So that could be Moorland, Fort Pinta, Starshine, Silverglade, oh god, I can't remember them all, like Jasper's Pumpkin Farm, things like that. Like Mistfall, yeah, you get my point. And like the Jorvik City, things like that. then you would get a horse. So along with all that tack, so each thing you would unlock, you could unlock maybe like, so let's say I found all of them in Fort Pinta. Are there any stars in Fort Pinta or Moreland? Okay, well, let's say that I found all the stars at Starshine. Are there stars at Starshine? Hold up, I don't know. Let's just say that we found all the stars. I don't care if they had them or not, but at Fort Pinta, you would get maybe like pole wraps, and then if you found them all at Moreland, you'd get I don't know, like a saddle pad, and if you found them all at Silverglade, you could get a little like tail ribbon, and then Starshine, like a little bow for your horse's face, things like that. And then it would keep on going on and on. Now once you finish them all, then you get a horse, and that horse would match with the tack, and it would be like you're getting all that tack to put on the horse that you just got for free, essentially. So hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. I know that is kind of a confusing concept, but I have been thinking about that for a while, and I really hope that makes sense to other people, because that has been like a really big thing for me, and I've been really wanting to do that, but I don't know if anybody else has thought of that. And if you have, and you had your own ideas on that, comment down below. I'd love to hear it. Anyway, that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, great weekend, great night, great morning, great afternoon, great year, whatever it is for you. All right, I love you all. Bye.
And you don't seem to understand. A shame you seem to know.